All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek cast number 120, SOPHistry. How's everybody doing? Oh, by the way, I got to do this for Brent Wright because I said I'd do it on air on the cast.
No. You need to take a leak on live stream. That's what you need to do.
He's done that though.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I did too. Thank God.
He was talking about people, I think, doing something on audio, like eating chips or something.
Oh, ASMR.
It was typing on the keyboard. Mute yourself when you're in a conference call. I was like, how about eating pork rinds?
Pork rinds. You know what's really good with pork rinds?
What? Mute yourself when you're in a conference call. I was like, how about eating pork rinds? There we go. Loop back. Actually,
Hey.
The Army of Darkness thing.
Hey, just a reminder to everybody before we go live, mute YouTube.
Oh.
It's like we say this every week.
But pork rinds, vinegar.
Yeah, I got it in there. I'm unmuted. I unmuted it. I'm good.
But yeah, vinegar is awesome with pork rinds.
Oh yeah, I think I had some like vinegared pork rinds. Yeah.
And even just like taking regular vinegar. Blah blah blah. I know we're live, Jack. Thank you.
I just saw that.
That was this thing I just picked up. My wife actually told me about it a couple days ago. It's called sarcasm. I'm testing it out. Seeing how it goes.
Yeah, I don't think you need any more of that to pick up. I'm pretty sure you picked up all of it.
Hey, there's always room for improvement.
That's one way to put it.
So what would that be if you have no more room in sarcasm? Would that make you a sarcastic rock star?
Sure.
Since we have like infosec rock stars and
sarcasm
infosec
rock star
gurus. Oh, I could be a sarcastic guru. That would be fun. I like that.
Anytime you're asked a question, you're like, maybe.
Well, what do you think?
What is the meaning of life? What is life?
42. We already know that. Duh. That's been answered.
Good point.
Yes.
Actually, no, I don't have that book out on my desk right now. That is in storage.
I see. Okay.
Failing nerd.
So you're getting there.
Towards failing? Yeah. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, you're definitely on the right road to fail. So let's see. How was our weeks? My week, man. I told you last Wednesday that the washing machine went out and my AC went out on the vehicle. So washing machine was delivered yesterday. Success 1. And AC side, not quite successful yet. So Jeep has decided to do in their 2015 and newer models, and it may have been 2014 too, that wasn't quite clear. Newer models doing new refrigerant in there that is not the standard Freon or whatever it was back in the day. They're doing this R1234YF. And it is crazy expensive. Hardly anybody has it and can do it outside of dealerships. And I just love with all my heart dealerships. So, yeah, that's a pricey fix. That's like a $1,600 fix for an AC compressor. Holy shit.
Here's your problem with that. You know what your problem was?
Not that I bought a Jeep, so what is it?
You bought a Jeep!
Yeah, screw you. I like Jeep.
Yeah, and I like the parent company, but the Jeeps are weird.
I mean,
the AC compressor. Isn't that AC compressor in the back?
No. No, I have a Cherokee. Wait, are you talking about the back of the motor compartment? Or no? Because it still has to run off the serpentine belt.
EC compressor.
Yeah, it's still up in the regular mounting area, along with your alternator and all that, water pump, all that fun stuff. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so they're utilizing. And who were you referring to as their parent company? I just want to check.
It's Dodge, right?
Yeah, but
It's
Well, FCA.
who owns Dodge?
Chrysler Fiat.
Fiat Chrysler Automotive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mercedes.
I
Mm,
don't think so.
Let me find a link and validate it.
There, yeah. So Israel's right, and this happened a few years back.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Yeah, like
semi-recent.
2013, I think maybe.
Hmm.
That's disgusting.
It's recent-ish enough in the car world.
Yeah.
Car world moves exceptionally slower than
Oh, I know.
than our world, where we have something come out like every freaking day.
Yeah, but for a long time in there, Mercedes, being the parent, the overall company, was not putting much money into design and everything else of Dodge, and then also Jeep. And
Mhm.
then I think it was like 2013, 2014, somewhere in that range, they actually started putting some money in. And so that's why you saw this massive, because like 2010 and earlier, you didn't see all that much like on the Hemi commercials. And now that's like all you see with Dodge.
Well, and here's the other thing with that too. Everyone right after 2008, not a lot of people wanted to buy vehicles or new vehicles. So there wasn't, as a business decision, they didn't put in a lot of effort into design or anything like that because they knew that no one was going to buy them because everyone was defaulting on their houses. And I say houses because some people were idiots and bought multiple houses.
Well, I mean, if they used it for a rental property or, vacation and then like an Airbnb it and stuff like that.
Yeah, but Airbnb, dude, Uber didn't exist for like another 5 years after that.
Yeah, but back in the day, before the Airbnb,
rental.
yeah, it'd be a rental and you had a local rental company and you still have to have somebody since you're not there to administrate the cleaning, upkeep, garbage, do all those things.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
used to, you also had those people help find renters, or short-term
Also,
leases.
One thing that has been great about my apartment building that I moved into is that we have valet garbage.
Yeah.
Valet garbage.
My
Yeah.
last apartment had that too. It was actually
Yeah.
pretty nice.
It is super nice. I just throw out my garbage on the side or like right outside the door.
Yep.
And in a can, and then someone will come pick it up, and it's free, or it's included in my rent. So
I'm sure they charge like $100 a month for that.
I think
it's
40.
it's 15
Yeah.
actually.
Papaco, the young person, I'm glad you recognize that free is not actually free.
Yeah, no, it's included in rent. I'm paying for it.
I'll tell you what I like about your place. You get to move in, automatically have roommates. I mean, the mice are awesome. I mean, it's just such a value.
Oh yes, yeah.
You have a locked door that you refuse to enter within your establishment. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, what he's referring to is the one time. Wow, I'm getting a restricted phone call.
Oh, it's probably me. I'm calling from Russia right now.
That is very weird. I'm gonna let that go to voicemail. If it does leave a voicemail, that's funny.
No, my robocaller doesn't. Sorry.
Let's see if it leaves a voicemail, because this will be funny if it's on chat.
Speaking of voicemails, or speaking of unknown callers, I love fucking with them. I get a lot of them, and if you actually fuck with them, they tend not to call you back because you waste their time.
Oh, so I did the greatest thing to someone that was to a couple of individuals that tried to fish me the other month. They were sending me these Apple payment BS fishes. They were showing like old Apple logos, and they were trying to have me download a PDF and whatever. And I'm like, I know what that is. That's kind of cool. I almost just went and downloaded it to reverse engineer it, which I probably will do later.
Do you ever get one of those phone scammers and then try to have phone sex with them?
That's okay. Cool. No, what I ended up doing, what I said back in broken English. Oh, I can't get password now. Please open link password there or something like that. And the link was a bit.ly link that went to Goatsy.
Oh.
Needless to say, after the second time that I did that to them, they stopped bugging me.
I'm probably outdated now. I used to have in my robots.txt on irongeek.com URLs that would automatically redirect you to, I think one of them was Lemon Party, one of them was One Man, One Jaw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a connoisseur of shock sites. So if you got any good ones, send them in the chat or email me or do something.
But
Nice.
Blue
so
waffle.
what I do is even better because it wastes their time. Because I mean, shock, yeah, they're used to it. FakeNameGenerator.com. Generate a fake name. They actually will give you a fake credit card number. They'll give you a fake address, fake phone number, all that fun jazz. And of course, none of it works because it's not supposed to work. And I use that to scam them because I scam them back, waste their time back. And I had one guy, one of the ones selling those vacations in Mexico, and I had him on for 2 hours because credit card, of course, didn't work. So, let me call the bank and put him on hold for.
I hope this was in your free time. You didn't have to work during this period.
What's that?
I'm assuming this is on the weekend or something, or
I was at work, but I was working from home, so I basically put him on hold. They're like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, I don't care. It's their time they're wasting. They can't scam someone else while they're doing that.
rock on. I feel like every minute you spend with me is a minute you don't spend, conning some gullible grandmother.
Pretty
Right,
much.
exactly.
That's your public service of the week.
Oh, we got Wonderful Wednesday coming in.
Oh, wonderful Wednesday is
Happy
here.
Wonderful Wednesday.
Get it?
You know it. Get it. Get it. How's everything going, everyone?
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I got some interesting news today.
What's up?
They're going to train me on some threat hunting.
Ooh.
Not threat hunting.
Yeah.
Have you ever done formalized threat
I've
hunting?
never done any formalized threat hunting. I said, oh my goodness, it's a gift.
Oh, yeah, you'll like it. I figured you had, so.
I'd like to get a training in something.
I was like, oh. Yeah, I was shocked. He said, yeah, while you have downtime during pen test, you can do threat hunting.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had the same thing happen to me yesterday where they were like, hey, can you go check out this and see because one of our clients got popped out. And
wow.
And
my goodness, that mouth on you, Cappy.
Yeah.
And it so I actually got to take a look, and I ended up writing a couple of scripts to help out some of the SOC guys, which was fun. Not fun that XYZ got popped. But that was fun. I want to get into it a little bit more, especially during downtime. But I also write tools and stuff. Exploits. I want to get into exploit writing a bit more.
You should write tools and double stuff. Like Oreos.
Cool. My next tool is gonna be named Oreo.
Oh, you should do that. Yes.
Just call it double stuff, and it'll be like a fuzzing app.
Yes. It's got to do at least two things though, like fuzz and
exploit.
Yeah, it's got to be more than just fuzz because it's double stuffed.
Got it. Or it's just a script that doubles whatever is in a file.
I mean, that was some old school like mess with sysadmins. Just have a file that automatically keeps reproducing itself, and keeps doubling. So every
See that?
time that it iterates through, yeah, just and you fill up the hard drive in no time flat.
Just every half hour it grows by a power of 2.
Oh, the one that I
Yeah.
had was like every opportunity that it could run, it was looping through.
If I
So,
was a sysadmin, I'd be waiting for you.
Oh,
Fill
yeah.
up my hard drive.
Oh,
What?
they had taken down my environment, so it was
Uh-oh.
at minimum equal retribution.
What's that zip
Mm.
file out there that decompresses to something that's like petabytes in size?
Wait, what is it?
What's up?
There's a file out there that will decompress into, maybe it's a raw instead. It decompresses to like petabytes in size.
Jeez. I don't know. I
I
haven't heard
don't
of
know.
that yet.
Mm-mm.
Have not heard of that yet, but now I have to look for it. So I'll have to look for that later.
Wasn't there an NTP attack that would, whenever it left, say your pipe, it was small, and then once it hit the destination, it was like 1,000 times bigger than whenever it left. Something
Wasn't
like that.
Wasn't that a DNS thing?
Yeah.
Because Anonymous pulled that against DreamHost a few years back, where they did a
Yeah, yeah.
amplified DOS attack
Yeah.
via the DNS server. Yeah, so they basically made a bunch of calls, and then the DNS server went, "Hey, you guys!" and just like threw everything at it. It
Mm.
turned a pistol into a bazooka, really.
Yeah. And you could have a very small amount of originating systems and do some very big damage
Yeah.
once they hit the destination. Yeah.
And they've at least the last time I looked into them, they've been working in a lot smaller teams, but it's not like the big gun or big like I'm gonna what is it, orbital ion cannon from everything with like tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
The low orbit
mean,
ion cannon.
Yeah, I haven't seen them doing. They are still active, just definitely not at the same rate that they used to be.
They're not hacktive. They're just active.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
they're
they've gotten much more. They've actually started some of the, because I think a lot of them kind of factioned off, and so some work with terrorist organizations more now and things like that. So they're not
Ooh, boy.
just them anymore. You know, they've kind of spread out into other areas, or been recruited into other areas.
maybe more productive areas, perhaps.
Maybe for some of them.
Yeah.
You can only hope.
Jack
Right.
in the chat said they are, but for the missing part, the skilled or the missed part. I don't know what you were trying to say there, dude. The
Most.
skilled people split off.
Yeah, most part.
Oh, most part.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
and two.
most of them went to
you-
LulzSec.
you
And that
could,
happened a
um,
while ago.
You could probably see some alignment between the bug bounty programs and the decline of Anonymous. I don't have anything to back that, but I can almost bet now that we can move over here and legitimately make money and not risk jail time.
Mhm.
I could definitely see that.
Well, even with programs like Synac, too.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Synac is just they give you a bunch of clients and you basically try to go into any one of their networks and systems. I think they're working on, both them and Bugcrowd are actually working on an internal assumed compromised position where they'll just have a server inside of their system and then or inside of the network that will then be a stepping point for everyone to do internal attacks. My thought with that is that everyone's going to get DA in like the first 5 minutes. That's all you're going to get for reports.
I'm telling you, man, the life of a bug bounty is just seriously hard.
Yep.
Yeah. If that's your solo gig. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, think about it. If you live overseas, a lot of time that's kind of your solo gig.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know
To eat.
one guy here who that's his solo gig, but two, he's really, really good. But if you're overseas and you're making U.S. based dollars, you know, that you could be living the high life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't do a bug bounty if I was living overseas and making U.S. dollars. Oh, no need for that.
Yeah.
What do you need me to install the hard drive to make sure that Israel doesn't have his minions actually fill up my hard drive with reproducible?
That's right.
Let me leave you alone. I can't leave that to poor sysadmins. They probably going through.
He calls it the horny
going through
bunny.
therapy. The horny bunny. They probably have to go through. They had to do therapy behind that, man.
Yeah, it was nice.
For you.
Well, yeah. I mean, plus I executed it remotely, so it was just running straight in memory. It wasn't even. I mean, at least the script was. It
Rabbit flu shot
was making big files on the endpoint, but
Rabbit flu shot. What's going on here?
Somebody talk to me.
Type cookie, you idiot.
Yes. Oh,
Give me cookies. Give me cookies.
cookies.
When your malware has a themed kill switch.
Yeah. Who would have thought, right? Oh, everybody knows I'm not normal.
And that's why we like you so much.
Yeah. That's why it's Wonderful Wednesday.
Who's Wendy?
Really? Yeah, who's Wendy?
Oh, no. Somebody sent me something to ask me, do I want to go to Wendy's? I'm like, no.
Wow.
I almost went to
you
Wendy's
are
today,
so
too.
all over the place.
Yeah.
You actually had a reply for that.
Who's laughing at that? Yeah.
Who's Wendy?
I'm not big on fast food, to be honest with you. Most fast food.
Yeah. That's why I said no.
I overeat a lot of other things, but fast food. Well, no, I can't. I'll eat some Popeyes chicken. That's
The Louisiana spice.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
But while I was down,
Oh, it's my
I
Popeye.
did not go to any Popeyes. I walked by one, but I didn't go in.
Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it no more, man. Life's just different now. It's all about juicing and water
Juicing.
and coffee.
Ooh, gotta get those steroids, brother.
Yeah.
Gotta juice up for the big fight.
Oh, yeah, the
Hell
Macho
yeah,
Man
brother.
Randy Savage. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's crazy? The 80s promo wrestling was the best. Like,
Yeah, it was.
it would be the crowd screaming. You hear Ric Flair, woo, styling and profiling. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Yeah. You'd be like, oh my goodness. And then Dusty Rhodes, let me tell you something tonight, baby. You'd be like, what? You'd be like, what is these wrestlers on?
A
Well,
lot
people-
of coke and steroids.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, man.
Well,
No.
somebody asked me that am I on something, so I understand.
Charles
Yeah.
is high on life.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
keep telling people that. Somebody said out with it. One of the 25 says out with it. How you like this before no coffee? I'm like, it's just natural energy. I don't know what to tell you. It's just natural energy.
Yeah, Charles is one of the few people who actually wake up on the right side of the bed.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else is getting up on the left side. You need to switch over to Charles' side, wake up on that right side. I've tried it a couple times. It's amazing, but it's a lot to handle. Yeah.
There's a lot to handle. But yeah, it's you know what
What are you guys doing sleeping in the same bed?
Wait a
I didn't say
minute.
his bed.
Thank
You
you.
said you switched sides.
Cap. you
Lot
hear
to
this?
handle.
Yeah.
Cap,
Yep.
I didn't come over to the long-haired hippie side. Don't worry. I'm leaving
Nah.
that exclusively to you.
right.
I
Oh
think
my
there's
God.
about 13,000 sides now. So, no, that's not the one.
Yeah. No, but you know, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, this just natural high of life. Like I wake up in the morning, like usually like 5 a.m. and I'm up and I'm on the balcony, either talking on Twitter because I like talking after hours, and the wind's blowing. It's nice and cool in the mornings now. I'm like, and got Pink Floyd's "Time" in the background lowered.
Oh yeah.
And
That's the way to do it.
And you guys
Mhm.
want to know the true secret? Charles finally divulged it to me here a week or two ago. As soon as he goes out on that balcony, he takes the first whiz of the morning straight over the side. It's amazing.
This is not true, people. Do
Hopefully
not
not.
believe these allegations. Heck no. That is out of control, sir.
Is a liar and cannot be trusted.
Oh man. Yeah, we don't want to give the BSD people a bad name, so no, we don't do that.
Nah, just bandit.
BSD is gonna turn into the new STD.
Ooh.
And he gives it away for free. Ooh.
Ooh.
Jack.
What did Jack say?
Jack in chat. That explains why R. Kelly was spotted below.
Oh my god.
Dude, why aren't you in here, man? Get in here.
Yes, get in here.
I'm
my
sure it has
God.
something to do with a girl.
Mm.
It's always about the girl.
Or Miss Kelly if he nasty. Oh man. Oh god. Yeah. But he's at the gym. Oops.
Oh, you
Let me
spelled
shut
it
my
wrong.
mouth.
His name is spelled Jim.
I'm at the gym.
Nah, look at that. Thanks. Shout out to Jack for showing love from the gym. Woohoo!
That's
Yes.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Jack's giving that gym love.
hey, I wanted to bring up something too. They were talking about like DNS in 2020 is going to be running into a couple of issues, and I saw the article.
Why is IPv4 finally going to run out of addresses that they promised us like 10 years ago?
You know what's crazy about that? Like, when are they going to do that? Like,
Actually,
I mean,
so Orange just recovered like 70,000 addresses, I think we said, because someone bought them fraudulently.
Nice.
wow.
So
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
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 Yeah, 'cause I was looking. I said, yeah. Like, and I'm grabbing the article while we talk. But yeah, it was just more so by 2020. Make sure you have the proper update so you don't run into any issues with DNS. And
they're switching over to IP. Well, what was the issue that was going to happen, or that is going to happen?
I'm grabbing the article as we speak. But while I'm grabbing the article, it seems like 2020.
Hey, that's not near the lotion, is it?
No, it's not near any lotion.
Excellent.
Nothing at all.
We want to be prepared if you're going to grab that article right next to the lotion.
No.
My finger is right over the beep button or that.
There's no splashing here, sir. We don't do splashes. We just don't. But anyway, 2020 anyway is the year for, I guess it's just a year of starting over. Because as you know, all you Pythoners out there, please update your latest scripts to Python 3 if you're not already on it.
Please.
Yeah, because
Or I'm
you will
going to
be in for a rude
rewrite them
awakening.
rewrite them for you. I mean, there's not a whole lot of differences. It's just going to be a lot of modules are going to be out of date, which we're already seeing that a little bit now.
Yeah.
So it will either get really, really bad, or it's going to get just a little bit worse.
Your pip won't work no more. Put it that way. Pip would be broken for a long time.
There's pip 3.
So, I know. But, for those that are just used to using pip. So
keep your pip hand strong.
That's right. So I got the article up. So what's going to happen is on February 1st, 2020, they're talking about the DNS servers that don't support DNS both over UDP and TCP may stop working.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that.
So I'm like, ooh, that ain't, yeah, that's not good.
So you can still
So
resolve with like old ass computers, right? You just can't be a DNS server anymore. Is that what happens?
I'm from what it's stating, it's not stating that, but I mean that could be a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, the
you know,
big place of concern is going to be with the vast majority of companies are going to link to their local providers, you know, upstream providers. So making sure that those upstream providers are getting it right, and then the entry into the company is right, and then it's essentially from that point on, you control it. So internally shouldn't be that much of an issue, but
externally,
getting that first hop, you know, from once you're going internal to external WAN, making sure that you have that down and it can do both UDP and TCP. Yeah, that's where the major concern will lie.
Oh, so like, you mean with like forwarding ports and stuff, or no?
No, not forwarding, just because whenever DNS comes into an organization, so it'll go through your firewall, but then you're going to have something else internally. You're not going to be internally utilizing that external DNS. You know, you're going to utilize your internal. So but your primary DNS servers, though, they just have to make sure that they are able to get that full TCP and UDP DNS traffic through to whoever they're linking to uplink is. And then once it comes down, then it doesn't matter. You know, you control that. You could still just do UDP if you wanted, but or TCP. Right now we do TCP, right? Yeah. And then, then internally you could still only do TCP.
So everyone with like an Amiga or something, it's not going to be more broken than it already is, right? Like
pretty much. It's just kind of like that Unix bug that's going to happen in 2038
and 2039 and 2040.
Yeah, 2038. If you're still on the 32-bit version of Unix, you will have problems. That'll date your time back to the year January 1st, 1970.
Oh, it's another it's Y2K.
In the Unix world.
It's an epoch bug because it's going to roll over to the epoch year because of the overflow.
Right. My gosh, if anybody is still running in 19 years, 32-bit, just shame on you.
I want a 128-bit OS.
Computer, but 32-bit computer, but like it won't be completely broken, right?
Well, think about this too. You've got a bunch of embedded devices right now. What are those running on?
I mean, even Raspberry Pis are 64-bit, right?
Right, but what about Windows 10 embedded or like Windows embedded stuff?
I thought that was 64-bit, the Windows 10 embedded, right?
Let me look. I'm not sure. I'm actually just I'm just asking questions.
I mean, I think it's got to be because Windows, even if they had a 32-bit version, we're talking 19 years away. Yeah, there is no freaking way that people are. I mean, but we've said this in the past.
64-bit ARM from Jack.
Yeah, that nobody is still going to be running mainframes in 2020, yet people are still going to be running mainframes in 2020. But, you know, in the same sense, we have virtualization. We have 19 years of more progress to be made. If somebody is seriously installing 32-bit Linux onto a 32-bit structure,
they need to be fired.
Bam.
Well,
they're changing the time, like the seconds to be, or like the place where it's stored to be 64-bit. I think you can still do the fix on this 30-bit hardware, right?
Yeah, as long as it's EA or is it EAP, large or no, not EAP.
PAE.
PAE. Yes, thank you. So as long as it's large address aware, then it should be fine.
It's another thing to realize here too that I just thought about when I was looking up the different versions of Windows Embedded. There's POS ready So Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009 is based on XP Service Pack 3.
Huh. Interesting.
That is 10 years old.
Yeah, but that's how it's support now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It should be, but how many shops do you think are still going to be using it?
7 is still in support. No, they rolled it out. That's right. Never mind.
Seven's going to be rolled out.
Yeah,
it's
7
about
will
to.
be rolled out at the end of January next year.
Right, that's right. So I mean, yeah, there's probably going to be systems that are going to get bit by this, but it's going to be very minor things. It's going to be things major. Everything major is already 64-bit, and most minor things are already 64-bit. So it's going to be very small things that no one even sees or notices.
But too, we're talking a rollback to 1970. I mean, that was an awesome time.
I don't know. I didn't exist, but
I didn't exist. I really didn't exist.
None of us existed.
Nope.
I mean, you had Sonny and Cher.
Hey, Adrian.
Nah, Adrian. Not even Adrian
didn't even exist.
Nope.
In 1970.
Yeah, what about it?
Did you exist?
No, I did not.
See, there you go.
Okay.
I was the sun. I was the sun ray in the sun and the shining light in the moon.
So that's how Charles was conceived. A rogue solar flare bounced off the moon and then hit his mother.
No, I'm pretty sure his parents were just high on acid. That's what.
No, they were not. They were not. They don't even know what that is. They've told me they don't know what that is. But anyway.
Yeah, they're lying to you. I'll break to you. They're lying to you.
Hey, I bet you can find some of your mom's old bell bottoms somewhere in the closet.
Possibly. I don't want to know.
I said bell bottoms. I didn't say dresses. I did not even.
Oh my God! No. Yes. Hit the beep button. Beep. Yes.
He's dead.
Oh my goodness. Whew. You guys make Wednesdays worthwhile. That's good.
Hey. Worthwhile Wednesdays. That's what we're here for.
Oh, look at you. Acronyms.
Yeah. Oh,
y'all gonna love my flashback shirt tomorrow for my morning vid.
You know what shirt you should wear?
He-Man?
What?
An original shirt that has the Flash on it.
I'm actually rocking Mortal Kombat tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You might.
And the message of tomorrow will be finish them.
Finish them.
Yes.
I like it.
Meaning those who are negative, finish them. Those who are yes, finish them. Yep. That's right. Yeah. Or be like, and for those who are excited about life and want to be successful, say, get over here. So, just little stuff like that.
I've tried that before. It does not really work when you're trying to go out.
Yeah, that's true. Again. Yeah, so fun stuff. And watching my mind, that beeping sound's going to be playing in my mind. I know it. But like, beep, 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 beep.
Hey, your mind will finally be PG-13. It's going to be amazing.
I know.
Yeah, because Charles, among all of us, is the one that needs that.
Yeah, yep. Sure do. Oh my God. Woo!
There's sundresses,
Jason?
everywhere.
And foot tattoos, yeah.
Tattoos.
Sundress, no!
And just like that, it was overused.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll hold off now.
Oh
So
my God.
next up.
We should hit the show notes.
We will start hitting show notes.
Show it up. Let's go.
Woo! Breach report.
All right,
Breach
I'll share my
report.
screen.
Preach report. Preach report. Preach report. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Somebody get him some Dramamine.
What?
What? Okay, first up.
Jeez.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We covered Baltimore a couple weeks back. Guess what? Baltimore is still burning of blaze of fire.
Mhm.
Their backups were ransomware hit. Just to bring you back up to speed, ransomware hit. Essentially, every system was knocked out. They are rebuilding off of paper backups and applications filed. Court proceedings came to a halt once the ransomware attack occurred. They actually got hit back in like 2012, I think it was, or 2013, by ransomware that took out their emergency services. So, in response to that, since then, they've actually had like 5 separate CIOs, and recently the mayor, I think last week, stepped down and resigned. Let's see what else. But in response to the previous ransomware attack a few years back, they segmented off all emergency services. So this attack current did not affect those services, but that's all they did. Their current CIO, I don't know if he's been fired or left yet, but
well, it looks like he's not going to be there for very long since there have been 4 CIOs over the past 5 years. In a string of firings and forced resignations.
Yeah.
Press
But
F in the
two,
chat to
with-
pay your respects to Baltimore.
There you go.
To the CIOs.
But two, with this incident, their current CIO, if he or she is still current, had advised that they needed cybersecurity insurance and advised multiple other things that they did not do, that were kind of voted down.
Sounds like government.
Yeah. And so they have no backups, no insurance. This one, ransomware family, if you didn't pay within X amount of days, the keys were just destroyed. And there was no way to even pay the ransom. And they didn't do it within that 2-week time frame. So,
Government.
yeah, because government. And it's always genius. So, yeah, the reason I brought it up is just because they are still in a crash and burn situation and will be for probably months.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of crash and burn, well, not crash and burn, but for months, I just posted it in the space. You know they're gonna have the Oreo cookie that represents the moon landing of the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Oh,
Isn't that cool
my
looking?
God! Yeah. I'm sorry. I just had to.
Hey,
I just had to just announce that.
And you know the best thing about that.
What's
So
that?
if you buy a package of those, you know, as a collector, once you open it in 70 years, or you sell it off for $1 million in 70 years, or 60 or 50, however long, and that collector obtains them, they can open that package and still eat a fresh Oreo cookie. Wouldn't have aged today.
No.
Kind of like getting McDonald's hamburgers. It's
no.
Nah.
Dude, I can't do McDonald's anymore.
No, me neither.
yeah, I don't
Ever.
do McDonald's.
No.
You live in Ohio. You basically live at a Wendy's.
Well, I mean, McDonald's is still the biggest, though. I mean, there's more
big-
McDonald's
the big
here
dub.
than Wendy's, even.
The big W.
Yeah. I told you a long time ago I was a server, and I actually served Dave Thomas, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
You sure you wasn't in one of those commercials? Hi, I'm
No.
Dave Thomas, and
The commercial
that'd have been cool.
that I almost did was a McDonald's commercial, and that really repulsed me.
Traitor.
Yeah, that they would.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never pursued that. Next up, we have OGUsers.com has been hacked.
Are you
So-
surprised?
No, given the the clientele.
Yeah.
So OGUsers.com, ClearNet site for sharing of hacked credentials primarily. So it's a site, open web, that hackers go to, post them up, exchange them, sometimes sell them. And some of the stuff included that the existing hacker of the site got was email addresses, hash passes, IP addresses, and private messages for approximately 113,000 users.
That's crazy.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Now I don't know if this included like deleted accounts or not.
Meow.
If it does, I may care a little bit. But you know, personally. So
Hang on, Darren. I'm only doing this once, but rip.
Pay respect.
Oh wait, it didn't go. Never mind.
yeah.
Screw it. Soundbite's not working. No, it's dun dun dun. But whatever.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah, I may have been a part of this. I actually haven't had an account on here for years, like literally years. But yeah, if they were able to retrieve like deleted, or if they saved deleted account information, you know, I may be part of this one. Always fun. So
that depends on the forum software. Some of them will purge it after like a certain amount of time.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it all depends on what they actually did on the back end, and configuration. So hopefully when you deleted an account there, they actually did delete the account and not just archive it.
They didn't Facebook it.
Oh, Facebook, they're their own little monster.
You're gonna get zucked so hard right now.
Eh, what's new? Okay, next up we have Stack Overflow. I'm making sure, and one thing I'm trying to do
Oh
too,
boy.
I'm trying to avoid some of the smaller things. If it's something that is bigger or notable, or something that's very unique, that's what I'm trying to throw into the breach report for us to talk about now, as opposed to having like 15 things on here and the majority of them nobody cares about. So yes, good old Stack Overflow. The vast majority of hackers use Stack Overflow, just like every dev out there does, because what is the main tool in a hacker's arsenal? Scripts.
Google.
Well, outside of Google, and then Google eventually leads them to Stack Overflow. But yes, hackers gained access to its internal network. And surprisingly, though, it doesn't seem like a lot of people were affected, at least given their current evaluation. They're saying that approximately 250 public network users were affected by this. But some of the information, where was the information that they were able to access?
Looking at it.
Oh, here it is.
This including IP and a very small portion of data, including IP address, names, and email address, and that for only a small number of users, which is that 250 public network users. So, could it? My question is this a targeted attack then?
Depends. If they actually had, some good defenses in place, like decent segmentation, somehow they were fully able to segment one area from another area.
250 sounds like a very rounded off number.
Yeah, but they said approximately. So it's probably like 253 or 246 or 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you look at the breach, they only got into like their dev environment, so there's probably not many users there to actually affect.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Very live users, at least.
Yeah. So
Nice.
If it's their dev,
I mean, those could be dummy accounts that they linked up that may have been imported from real users, but maybe had scrubbed data on them or something, or people who consented to it. Who the fuck knows?
right? Yeah.
And two, I mean, just to put it in perspective, too, they have 10 million registered users. So
It could have been much worse.
oh my gosh, yes. So 250 compared to 10 million. Yeah, I'd take that every day of the week.
Well,
Hopefully every day, because eventually that will add up. But
Well, as they said, they were trying to get access to the production network to where the main data store is, but they couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like, according to the press release.
Yep.
They
Fun
couldn't. They're not
stuff.
smart enough to reverse SSH to like the developers' workstations. I mean, come on.
They probably tried that and failed.
Man.
So
Special.
scrape and leave.
Oh, hey, Jack.
Hey.
Oh,
Jack is no longer just lurking.
yeah. Man. I kind of like the lurking Jack. It's fun. Okay.
He can't directly talk back to us.
Okay, last up on the breach. Instagrams, and I wanted to throw this as a quote, influencers, private info scraped. And the reason I put this as quote unquote influencers is
Like
because,
you
yes, millions of Instagram and I will say users had their private contact data scraped and exposed. So, what was the number?
49
40 yeah,
million.
49 million.
Over
So,
45, 49 million records.
49 million influencers? Like, really? 49 million people on Instagram are. How many total users are on the base? Like,
Well, coupling. Uno momento.
Well,
I mean,
it depends on what your definition of an influencer is. Like,
Yeah.
like what amount of followers?
77.6 million active users since
so we're
in
talking
2015.
2/3. Yeah.
In
So,
2015, but in
2015, so 3
it's
years
projected
later.
to surpass 111 million in 2019.
Okay.
So
So
it
still
could be
talking 40% to 45%.
Yeah, about 50% of potentially all active users.
Yeah, but they're saying 1 out of every 2 users is an
Oh.
influencer.
Hang on. Instagram now has 1 billion users worldwide.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So in an article published June 20th, 2018, Instagram now has 1 billion users worldwide. Instagram announced at an in-office event today that it now has 1 billion users worldwide. It had 800 million users in September of last year, so September 2017, and which has 200 million or more than that at the same time the year before. The app just keeps steadily adding 200 million users a year, it seems. This was back in 2018.
Wow.
But also, I think a lot of it came from being integrated in Facebook because everyone was able to get their Facebook account linked to
Oh.
it. And in 2018, so
That could be.
a lot of, or 2017, a lot of it transferred over. So
like your grandma has an Instagram now. That's cool.
pretty much, or it can.
I probably have an Instagram and don't even know. Ah, well, that's just amazing.
It's
So
also
stick-
really big with young people.
I'm still gonna air quote 49 million though, because I just see that as an absurd amount of influencers.
Could be.
Can you actually make money from Instagram?
Yeah.
Other than like pushing
Not
people's
directly.
products, like
Yeah, that's exactly how you make money. If you have that's how YouTube and viral YouTubers and Instagram influencer model or whatever get money. They have brands quote unquote sponsor them to then hey, we'll pay you if you have our product in one of your videos, and it's a marketing play.
Yeah, but that's an external source. I'm saying internal. Does Instagram pay, like YouTube? You have
YouTube has
advertising
ad
on
share
your channel.
Possibly.
YouTube will pay you, from ad revenue. But do they have this? Does Instagram have ad-based revenue for their client? Oh, okay. I didn't think so, but I was just making sure.
It's all that. I mean, it's a marketing tool, so their revenue comes from their ability to market themselves, and then they can market themselves with XYZ product then.
That is swell.
So for instance, I have not followed any celebrities in a long time. One of Kendall Jenner puts up something, and then all of a sudden she makes a shit ton of money because people see her product that she's selling, and then does it that way.
Nice.
That's another thing too. A lot of the Instagram influencers have their own companies for products like clothing. Most of the time, it's clothing or accessories.
I don't know. It seems like everything I've seen that has made it out of Instagram but started there has been like bath
Homeopathic.
soaps and perfumes and
Homeopathic medicine.
yeah, some of that stuff even I think I've seen. But yeah, I could definitely see like the clothing
Tide Pod
lines and-
challenges.
So that's where they go down. Man, I've been looking for those underground groups.
Underground.
Just go to TikTok, you old boomer.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So back to
I-
this real quick though. So
I hate TikTok. I will never use it.
good. Don't use it. So one of the integration, it wasn't actually Instagram directly. It was Chatterbox, CHTR box,
Mhm.
that had a publicly exposed database where all this data was living and fully Shodan searchable, all that fun stuff. So it was just a matter of time until all that data was going to be dumped out.
And the article actually does explain how influencers were making money in there too. So, Chatterbox pays the influencers. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, but what all did that include? I already closed the article. That
Email
was
addresses
email,
and phone
telephone numbers.
number.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there's the breach. We'll move on to the CPAP stuff.
What?
Yeah, he means me. So on Twitter, if you were following last week, I found a botnet.
Whee! Botnets are fun.
Yeah, so you can. I think there's still a couple of these images that are active because some people in other countries haven't taken them down yet. We can actually take a look at that in a second here.
Hey, so
But yeah.
first off, did either Shodan or John Matherly DM you?
Yes, so
Nice.
So I will explain a little bit. I'll go through the whole process of how I ended up here. Once I pull up that Shodan link here. And we'll see if they're actually up. They might have taken it down.
The Zulu 2 account?
Yeah, Zulu 2 got taken down, but I don't know if all the images got scrubbed off of it.
Oh, so you're who took down my stuff. Thanks, Cappy.
You're welcome. That's some good code, by the way. I'm going to use it. All right, cool.
You're welcome.
So I was poking around on Shodan and I found this site. So I was just looking at Docker and looking at port 2375. Adrian, if you want to click on me so that everyone can see my screen and it won't shift around so much.
Oh, I'll click you. I'll click you so hard.
All right, click me good,
Oh,
Daddy.
yeah.
So I was looking around and I saw down here actually a couple of these things where it's like, okay, cool, Docker start. With what that 2375 port is, it's the Docker socket, and how Docker uses that is you can connect out to it via the tech H command, or I think it's host command, and you can basically do remote calls to spin up containers from certain images. Now, there is a problem with that because then you have stuff like this happen. So I'm pretty sure these here aren't supposed to be here, and I'm not sure if this is a honeypot or not, but whatever. These images here, and when you see a Docker port that's open, 2375 or 2376, which is the encrypted quote unquote version, you get a bunch of this stuff. And I'm like, that looks very weird. I don't know why you would be running two different versions of this code And like, wouldn't you just need one container running? It didn't make sense to me. So then I started looking around, and on Twitter here, I actually was able to find the Docker, or that someone on GitHub had said, hey, I found this in a honeypot, and that he had up, and he and I collaborated a little bit together on it, saying like, hey, are these attacks still going on? Because if they're still going on, that means that there's stuff that was still active, or that it would be calling outbound. Because what I figured it was another crypto miner, which has happened before, where there was a Monero botnet, or a Monero crypto mining botnet, and it propagated
Monero miner.
itself. Yeah, Monero miner. It propagated itself through Shodan queries, which I thought was interesting. That was cool to me. But also terrible. They shouldn't have been using it that way. But still cool. Anyway, I decided to take it upon myself to download the images, and now I'm going to share my terminal here. All right, so for the uninitiated, this is Docker within a Windows environment. So it's just a, oh my gosh. Okay, I can't really make the text bigger, but this is a virtual machine that I have running Docker. This is the boot to Docker image. And right here are all of the, or most of the images that were associated with that Zulu2 account that we saw in the Shodan query. Those were definitely an attack. All of these showed up, all the Zulu2 images that were on GitHub from the guy's botnet or honeypot. All of those were showing up within like hours of each other. Like they were on like a timer to just show up randomly and then kill themselves or something. We couldn't really figure that out, but I was able to figure a couple of things out that you can do with Docker that I didn't know that you could actually do. So if you actually want to do analysis on images that show up onto your environment, you can do a couple things. You can do Docker inspect and the image. So Zulu2 / mini, well, let's go mini 1. Oops, if I can spell. Docker. And this will give you all the JSON to tell you, okay, cool, it's all of this. The thing that I focused, that you really need to focus on when you're doing analysis, is this entry point right here. So the entry point is the first thing that runs when you boot up a Docker image. So this usually will be used to like start a web service. It will run a script like you're seeing here to start various services that you want the container to be running. So if you have like a web application, an Elastic instance, some sort of whatever you want, this is what you need to tell it to do. So cool, we've got that. So now I know where his script is running. Now all we have to do is run it and specify our own entry point. And since we already know that bash is on there, or not bash, shell is on there, entry point equal, I'm pretty sure it's just this, and /sh and Zulu2 mini 1. It's all one word. All right, so now we're in the container. It's a little shell icon up at the top there. And we can see here ubu.sh. This ubu.sh here, which is that script that's running. Now if we just look at that, it's a crypto miner, which then goes out there.
I like that.
And it's fun. Cool. All right. So verified that it was a crypto miner. Cool. But I want to know how it's actually getting onto the box. So there was this other image there that had a little bit of a different entry point to it, and that was this auto script. And this auto script was on way more boxes. It was on about 200 to 300 boxes that I could see on Showdown. So if we inspect this here, it has a different script. And I was like, okay, that's a little different, because all the rest of them were like ubu.sh or mac.sh or whatever. I don't know. But this one was always the first one that the guy saw in the honeypot. And so we're going to do the same kind of thing here, because it's the same setup, and it's a BSD. So, and Charles left, so I was looking for an owl. Ow! There we go.
You your own soundboard.
And we had Jack actually help me out with a little bit of this when we were looking at that. So thanks, Jack. So that entry script is doing a few things. It's looking to enable Tor and SSH out to some Tor address, and then also run its own crypto miner as well. Okay. But but it's not just doing that. It's also running something in Shodan or something. So if we actually look at those files, tool bin. So if we'll actually CD into that, and we can see the whole thing. So this is his whole architecture right here. So you've got botnet1 config control.txt, Darwin, which is the script that runs the crypto mining for Monero, hcode, refresh.py, rip, Shodan, actually, and then xm remover actually removes it, the image or the container. It waits for a kill signal, and then it will from a Tor site. So if we actually look at control.txt, there's the onion site right here. And then let's take another look here. Clear this out, because now it's getting a little cramped. And if we actually cat out that Shodan daemon, or show daemon, all right. So it's doing a bunch of stuff. So it creates a Shodan worker. It's looking for a bunch of stuff, and it actually starts querying out different things in Shodan, which is actually the same query that I was doing to find this. And we can actually look at that in cat config.txt. Nope, that's not it. It was another file. It was, I think it was hcode. Yeah. So it's just querying everything on Shodan for 2375, looking at product, looking at what country it is, looking to see if it's running a shell, if it's running MySQL, running Java. It's running, and just to try and do anything. And all of this information will get saved to a text file in this malware or whatever you want in this code, and get sent back to that Tor site. Now, the coolest thing, and this is how I was able to shut him down, shut whoever wrote this down. And hey, that's a little odd. So, guy was using 4 different usernames and passwords for his Shodan account, and I was able to get a hold of. So, essentially, once I found this, I was like, "Oh, this is bad." And this is also really good, because now what I can do is I can just go straight to them, just give them, and I screenshotted everything and basically just wrote a very small report of just a text file that says, this is a botnet and this is using XYZ things and a bunch of other stuff. And sent that out to a couple of people, and that was sent out to both John Matherly. He reached out to me after I gave him a mention, and I just gave him a zip file of all of it. And within about an hour, all of those accounts were then decommissioned or disabled. And they said that they were seeing some strange activity on it, but this is the first that they were seeing it as a botnet of sorts. So that was a cool find. And then on the Docker Hub issue, I got an email from one of the backend developers saying that they've disabled Zulu 2 account, and thanks for the report. So we are good. So that was what I did last week for funsies.
Funsies.
Yeah. So a little bit of a fun thing that you can do to say, hey, you can use Shodan for good, for evil, but you can also use it to hack them back, which is a little bit of fun. So that concludes what should have been a vulnerability of the week, but I spent a lot of time this weekend getting all of this done because this was a big deal to me. And yeah, there you guys go. You now know a little bit about what to look for Docker itself, and also how to use Docker to then do some reverse engineering of the images themselves.
It's a shame he didn't use the query his little command and control server to get his username and password instead of just having it hard coded into the source code. That's kind of a major blunder.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, that's a little like, I really don't care about, like, he wasn't hiding it at all, which was interesting to me. Like, naming your stuff botnet. This took me about an hour worth to Google and then just poke around in it. The biggest thing that took me the most time was I'm not used to being in a shell, or in just a shell environment. I'm used to having bash or Z shell, so I'm used to having everything highlighted. So I was catting things that were like megabytes, and I was like, nope, and it would crash the machine. There's also another thing too, that if you guys have a sandbox environment, what you can also do is, and I won't run it here because this will actually run the image. But what you can do is, if we exit here, you can actually do a Docker run. What is it? History. That's going to fail. There's a way that you can run Docker a Docker image against itself. And you do that by running the socket. And I'm wondering if I have grep.
What do you mean against itself?
So what you can, so they have something called the Docker. It's the same thing. So as the Docker socket. So with the Docker socket, you can actually run it against itself. And I'm forgetting the command to do that. So it might be way up here, but I think the machine is just gonna, it's just gonna be weird. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will find that command. But what you can do is you can set up a volume to basically take whatever is in one volume and then put it into the Docker into another volume. It's like a share path. But if you run that against the Docker socket against itself, you will see all of the code start to form on the screen, so that you can see exactly what that image is running.
Oh, it's kind of like where you turn like the echo on the shell when you're running a shell script.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember what value you set, but yeah, it's like that. That's cool.
Yeah, and you can do this all through the Docker CLI, which is cool. But only do that within a sandbox environment. And that's how I initially found out that it was querying Shodan, because I did that and I didn't turn off the network, and all of a sudden my box started querying things out. I'm like, nope.
Oh, I thought it didn't turn into like a jet turbine, like mining coins.
No, it didn't. But it, yeah. So that account's now gone. The thing is that I haven't looked at that Onion link, and I'm not going to because I don't want to mess with that.
You
'Cause
want to
you
just run
don't-
Nmap against it? Can you run Nmap on onion addresses? No. What can you do?
Uh,
I don't think you can use Nmap on onions. Can you?
All you're going to find is whatever services it's supposed to provide you.
yeah.
Hmm.
And they were all doing it through web servers, and the guy at least was smart-ish, and he was making temporary files and stuff like that, so it would generate a file whenever an image was created, and it would kind of write the code and whatever. It was good. There were just he skimped on a lot of stuff, but there's some stuff that's actually pretty genius.
Yeah,
So-
I know. That's what's funny. It's like it's really smart, but kind of stupid in some parts.
A little bit, but it's a little bit of fun if you guys at home or at work start seeing and you're running Docker in production and you see weird images start to show up. Docker inspect and change the entry point and start poking around the box and looking at that first entry point to see what's happening, or running it in a sandbox environment by running it against the socket itself, or it will do that. I will actually find that command in a bit here and post it in the YouTube chat so that everyone can see that.
Cool.
But that's what I got.
Yeah.
So, any questions on that, chat, or anyone on the stream? Most of you are here. Most of you are yelling at me and like, "Hey, why are you not doing it this way?"
Yeah, I caught like the first half of you working on that. It was pretty dang cool.
All right.
Yep, this is good stuff, man.
Cool. All right, on to vulnerable stuff.
Vulnerable stuff. Last week was just out of the, spectrum with stuff. So
Off the charts.
yeah, completely off the charts. So to not flood you with just a stupid amount of more stuff, threw a link in here for TP routers. If you have a TP link router, hopefully from an enterprise perspective, you don't, because that is not enterprise grade.
Yeah,
And
no.
even SMB side, not even SMB grade. At very most, it should only be home, and I wouldn't own one. But if you do,
Zach's been busy.
yeah, they are vulnerable to a remote hijack, and I think it's been a while that this vulnerability has been present. Took them more than a year to publish patches for. So they've been aware of it for over a year. And
Yeah.
just now publishing patches. So you should patch the crap out of that. If you have one, patch it immediately. Hardly, there are some in the US. Shodan is showing about 5,500. There's actually the vast majority are in Brazil, Pakistan, Bulgaria. So, yeah. If we have foreign listeners, say it again, Tux. Tux.
Oh, I said some fun could be had. I mean,
Oh yes, much fun and praising by all could be had.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely update that firmware.
Please.
And then, as I've been trying to do, I threw on the weekly security bulletin. So uscert.gov, look down through it. And honestly, I used to use this whenever my full-time position was a security administrator. And, I had my list of devices. It takes a bit of time if you don't already have it built out, networking, and applications. But I had a big list.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
There with Internet Explorer.
Yeah. And I would take that, compare it on a weekly basis, and criticals happened within a couple days, and then everything else got put onto the monthly schedule. So
WhatsApp made it.
what?
WhatsApp made it to the list.
About time.
I don't
Yeah,
think they
and-
were in there last time.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those too. Like, is that valid to even go on a list like this?
Buffer
consumer
overflow
side-
vulnerability in WhatsApp VoIP stack allowed remote code execution via specially crafted series of SRTCP packets sent to a target's phone number.
Yeah.
The issue affected WhatsApp Android prior to blah. WhatsApp Business for Android prior to blah. They have business? I didn't know that.
That's why they're on here. As I was
Mm-mm.
actually going to bring up the fact, like, I don't know if they really should be on here, but yeah, since I do have the business side, then
Well,
yes.
and that's something that's it's there's another alternative to it. It's called even Signal got a little owned a couple
When?
months back.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really. I wouldn't really call
on
it.
the desktop stuff, on like internal on the client's app on the desktop. The community, like you needed physical or you needed system level access to it to get to it. Well, with WhatsApp, with this is a remote attack that can be done just by making a phone call.
Yeah.
It's like freaking ish.
Epic.
Mm.
Like it, not exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was doing a buffer overflow, but and then a specifically crafted payload. It's fun. Okay, but that's all I have on vulnerable stuff. I just threw two things on there this week, so we're not gonna like kill you with vulnerable crap again.
Yeah, if you want to see more, just start looking just look up security vulnerability in Google and go to the news tab because there was a lot. A couple things to kind of note. I discussed through 3 Angry Cat last week. Intel got hit again last week with a vulnerability called Zombie Load, which is in the same family as Spectre and Meltdown. Yeah. And that has been, and I will cover that one in more depth next week. But that, if you remember last year around February and March-ish area, when companies were making patches, i.e. Microsoft, Apple, and then the open source community of the Linux world were making patches for this, there was significant performance or dips in performance with this. This zombie load for the patches, for the microcode patches themselves, you can expect up to, so this is the maximum of a 40% decrease in performance on even the new chipset. So that's including the i9 set. And that was one of the biggest things that I saw, was that it was really, it hit the high end performance cards, which I'm not sure if that's being used in the enterprise world, because it is.
Yeah,
okay.
It's starting to. Yeah,
Okay.
Prices are starting to come down, so yep, they're starting to adopt it.
Yeah. So then you've got that, and then I believe it will have affected the Xeon processors because they probably are built upon the same base architecture, but I will look into that more for next week. But
with a live
that's
demo.
a paper. No, dude, I ain't got time for that. Oh man. I had to my computer force updated, so now it's even slower.
Damn Windows.
I'm gonna switch to Linux. Yeah, the fourth gen processors are.
You can shut off that forced update, right?
Nope, I'm lazy.
There are only so many things that I want to administer with Windows, and I did it 2 years ago. And that is about it. Like, a lot of it is just I don't want to mess with Windows other than what comes out of the box. So the fact that I have any sort of VM on here is enough for me to say, okay, cool, I'm done.
Now, is that Windows out of the box with the manufacturer build or actual Windows?
Actual, wait,
Nah.
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like consumer side, we ship you with
What
Windows already on with all of Dell's
No,
or
this was
software or all of HP's extra crapware on
No.
there. And
no, this was I had this is actually a post Windows free update to Windows 10. So I got onto the update chain with both my laptop and my on this desktop, and then I eventually lost the key because my motherboard shorted out, or my hard drive died, which then sent it into the motherboard, or sent a current into the motherboard, and the motherboard died.
good night, really.
Yeah, I lost about I lost about a $500 build. My graphics card and everything was fine, but then I just upgraded everything else and we were all
Hey,
good.
Hey, you could still run Hashcat. That's what really matters.
Yeah. Well, no, I couldn't. It wouldn't even boot. It wouldn't hit the BIOS.
You could have booted to disk, and then
No, it wouldn't even boot to disk.
Oh yeah, your motherboard was
It wouldn't
fried.
post.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
motherboard is called the motherboard for
Yeah.
a reason.
Yeah, I forgot you said the motherboard was fried. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Hard drive was fried. What sucked is I went out and I bought I bought an SSD for a boot drive. I bought a 2 terabyte hard disk, and then I plugged it in, tried to boot it, and just black screen with a little tick. And I was like, "Oh no, motherboard's dead." So I don't know. I've got the process. I've got it. It's still somewhere in my apartment with like the processor and everything in it, but yeah,
What
the RAM.
processor was it?
AMD X6 Phenom 2. Or no, AMD Phenom 2 X6. It was a 6-core AMD processor.
That's still not a bad one.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't. It heated up my room very quickly, though.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. It also had the feature of, hey, you can turn off like 2 of the cores in it. My room got a lot cooler after that.
Yeah, my primary thing that I used to heat my rooms up with was video cards. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And telephones.
And what?
Telephones. Didn't you have like 60 telephones or something in your house at one point?
Oh, yeah, like in the mansion down on
Yeah.
OSU campus. Yeah, we had like our own like phone tree, everything down there. Yeah, that was seriously awesome. Like from the administrative console, we could actually dial out straight from that and be able to utilize all the lines at once. And so, like winning radio contests and stuff like that, we'd win them all the time. It was awesome.
And that is why phone companies are hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, ready to move on to the Coca-Cola Con?
What?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
NolaCon.
Well, I have a long recap of NolaCon that is on my YouTube. Basically, went around, did video of the conference, and then even more video roaming around New Orleans. I'm surprised that they won't even have more people there. I want to say, I'll have to get figures from them. I want to say it was in the 300 range, but maybe more than that, maybe less than that. My video doesn't give it justice to the number of people there because I deliberately tried not to get people on camera unless they wanted to be on camera. But it was a good time. People seem to have liked talks.
Wear beads if you want to be on camera.
Exactly, wear beads. I do, of course, include a hedgehog in my video.
Heck yeah.
It got a lot of beads, but then again, it has, 10 of them, so you'd expect it to get a little bit of extra beadage. I was going to laugh in the background.
Gotta love Tux.
They had various things going on. They had kind of internet things, hacking challenge, it looked like, and they, of course, 2 tracks of talks, which makes it really easy for me to keep up. A bunch of crap. There's a certain type of New Orleans kettle chip. I can't remember the damn brand name now, but they always have them at NolaCon, and there's a voodoo flavor, which is kind of sort of like a barbecue chip, but it's not really quite. Of course, it's always good eating in New Orleans. I never had a bad meal, and I came back, maybe feeling a little bloated. Did a whole hell of a lot of walking though, but I'm not sure what else to say. I basically came up, recorded, and hung out with friends, and walked around the city a whole lot.
Are you talking about Zap's brand?
That's it, Zaps.
Yeah, they're pretty well known. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. I'll have to try that.
And of course, I didn't buy any voodoo dolls this year because the ones I bought last year I didn't even use. So what I did was I bought 4 of them so I could go to a 4-track con. I was going to look at the speaker on the podium, look down at the voodoo doll who has his own miniature podium, look at him, look back, look at him, look back, pin the damn voodoo doll to the podium, and then walk off. I need to actually pull that stunt.
I like it though.
I kept beginning to bring them with me, and I want to get me a special voodoo doll, one that really fits my personality and so forth. But the ones there, they didn't have the aesthetics I want, so I may have to make my own voodoo doll.
Nice.
I know some of you have probably watched a few videos from NOLACon. Mm-hmm. Any comments?
A lot of them were pretty good. I don't remember the ones that I watched. I've kind of just been watching and taking in a lot of information on them. But yeah, most of them are pretty good. A couple of them are a little little more for the uninitiated or beginner side, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. A couple things for there's one talk I was watching today on how to just make a Metasploit module and get it into the Metasploit framework. Which
that was one of the ones in the last day that was 30-minute talk for a good quick intro.
Yeah, a good quick one. I'm gonna look and see what ones that I watched that were.
It's such New Orleans is such
good.
I'm surprised they don't sell out tickets instantly. I think the time period and the location next year. Apparently, New Orleans it's even harder to book conference space than it is some other cities.
How far is the airport from the conference location?
I don't know. I think less than 30 minutes. I'd have to go look at my
Oh,
I
that's
know
not bad.
Uber at about 2:30 or so in the afternoon. I think it was maybe a little bit before that. It ended up costing me 33 something bucks. Though one of the organizers, Eric, left in the morning. I want to say his Uber bill. He left at I don't know 5 in the morning or something, and his Uber bill ended up being something like 115 bucks.
Whoa!
What?
I think there's a lot of there's very few people that want to drive at that time, and the people you be driving might very well be drunks coming back.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, because you know how New Orleans is. Those bars close pretty late or early.
Yeah. So probably drunks coming back from the French quarters, and not all the Uber drivers want to drive them. So I mean, you have the whole surge pricing. And I don't understand Uber's model completely, but my understanding that's probably the reason why.
Yeah.
Leave that early in the morning.
Well, here's the other thing too. There was one time that I came back from a engagement, and I got back at 1 a.m, I think, on a Sunday night, and went home and took an Uber home, and that Uber was about $100, and I was like, "What the?" It's a half. It wasn't. It was like not even a half hour. It was like 25 minutes.
Where the hell did you land?
Definitely time to rent a car.
KCI or MCI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, KC. Yeah, just 1 o'clock. It's just the cheapest Uber that you can get, $100. I was like, what? So, I know it was. I was coming back from East. I think it was because it was on Easter. Because I was coming back on Easter night or whatever. I don't know. But one of the talks that I actually was really nice to watch was Don't Panic, A Beginner's Guide to Hardware Hacking by Phoenix Snoke. Okay. And that's a good introduction. That was a great introduction, at least for me. I knew a couple of different things, but then I was like, oh, that's how this thing works, and that's how this thing works, and this is why this works. And I'm like, okay, cool. So Cappy's going to start looking into hardware hacking now and getting a build set up for that, getting a workbench for that. either for personal or for work stuff, because I want to get into more of that, and also building my own stuff. So
Nice.
build my own embedded devices.
Nice. How many Raspberry Pis do you have at home?
2.
Cool.
I have 1 0 that isn't set up at all, and then I have a Raspberry Pi B that is in a touchscreen display that I take on site with me when I'm doing physical engagement, so that I can show compromise of port security, where I can just plug it into a bunch of ports and get network access.
I think you showed that to us one time.
Yeah, I showed it to you the day that I used it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When I was in XYZ location.
That's right. Beep. Location. I'm
Yeah, guys, I was at I'm gonna call that the NDA fulfillment button.
Nice. I think I'm actually because I have a 0 sitting around here. I think I'm gonna make a poison tap out of it just for fun. So yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna
be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and look up a couple of different things to do, because what my thing is maybe gonna be is just to be like on boot, start running responder, and then call back out to a CNC server that we have.
Yeah.
And then start throwing creds into a password cracker and all that fun stuff.
Are you or use it for pass the hash?
Well, I don't want to automate that, because I don't. There's only so much that I'm willing to automate, because I don't know how much it would put a strain on the system. So I don't know the full strength of the network that it might be going into. Because there's sometimes where just the minorest of things will take a network down, i.e. a SYN scan, which happened to me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, I've been through very few pen tests where printers were not knocked out.
No, it wasn't a printer, but I won't
No,
get
I'm
into
just
what
saying,
the device
like,
was.
production printers have been knocked out.
Yeah, it's like production devices that are running embedded software.
And
like,
these have been good pen test companies. So almost every single time, printers down, shit, they're doing a pen test. Yep, always fun. Okay, what do we have up next? Other stuff. So, yeah, good old Google with their pants caught down at their ankles.
Dun dun dun.
Google caught storing plain text passwords, and yep, they were doing it. And I know somebody who received an email from them, so I'm going to read the email direct, and I threw it into the notes. Dear G Suite Administrator, we are writing to inform you that due to legacy functionality that enabled customer domain admins to view passwords, some of your users' passwords were stored in our encrypted systems. Just got to make sure we state the systems are encrypted in an unhashed format, plain text. This primarily impacted system-generated or admin-generated passwords intended for one-time use. We have reviewed the login information for the user accounts and have found no evidence that the unhashed passwords were misused. Now, that is what was sent to somebody who utilized the service, but it wasn't apparent that passwords were abused. For those that were abused, I haven't seen that email, but from what I understand, it also came alongside an attachment that included the user information. I sure hope not the passwords, but the users that.
I mean, they're already in clear text, so I mean, what the hell's the difference then?
Yeah, but we're still sending them through the internet.
Yeah, let me just email
as
you
an attachment that I'm sure there was no encryption wrapped around the attachment. But yeah, so that's out there, and that's always fun. And then
Wajam.
Yeah, you throw that on there, Cap?
Nope.
Oh
no, that was
Aaron?
me.
Oh, okay,
So
there we go.
It's
I'm
interesting.
Calm down, Liz. It'll be okay.
You said go ahead.
I said go ahead.
Okay. So this is a thing happening up in Canada, so it may have implications around the world, but who knows? They're trying to redefine what is adware and what's malware. It's a particular strain of adware known as Wajam, which was originally made of a company in Canada, then was found to violate some of their privacy rules, so they moved all their assets to China, to I think Hong Kong actually. So yeah, outside they're out to their jurisdiction now. But it does some very rootkit-like activities in terms of infiltrating your system to serve you ads, which to probably most of us would qualify as malware as opposed to adware. So they're trying to say that because of these activities, that's started to get a little more redefined. That the line's getting a little more blurry. So pretty soon we may see any kind of adware, which was used to be called spyware, but they had to stop doing that because of that's defamation. You can't do that. So they're looking to try and change that maybe. And
Defamation against what? Spies?
against the company saying, you're selling spyware. Well, it does that technically, but it's.
I mean, hell, Epic Games' launcher is basically a virus.
Yeah.
It runs all of your. It takes up all of your available resources. It is terrible.
Oh yeah. So they're trying. So this is something to watch for in the future, where that line may start blurring again, as I said, to become adware may start be considered, actually dangerous, and maybe under certain implementations of the law, like the Computer Fraud Abuse Act. What is it? What's the UK law?
GDPR.
Not GDPR. No.
No, it's
basically
data privacy.
It's their equivalent of the CFAA there.
Oh shoot.
I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, that, and most countries have something like that, where it's some kind of crime for computer crime, and that may start becoming more and more of a thing in the future, where they're no longer have protection as adware. No, they're considered malicious now, and therefore distribution of these things can be considered a crime. We'll see where that leads.
And I think the adware side, I think they hopefully crack down on it. Remember, like 5 years ago, we were just having malware distributed out through adware like constantly.
Most of it was through like a Flash plugin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ad networks are notorious for having malware distributed through them. That's why I've said if a good ad blocker is kind of a good cornerstone of any kind of information security defense, because if you're not doing that, you're kind of doing something wrong.
But also definitely look into the ad blockers that you use. Most of the ad blockers do ingest everything that you type into your browser. The vast majority of them. So do your research.
Keep in mind that ad blocker, as in the initial one, the one that's housed in Germany, by default allows Google's ads because Google paid them to.
But you can turn that off.
But you can also build a pie hole too.
Yeah.
Hit it at the network level.
You could also use Brave, which tries it's a web browser that has a built-in ad block. There's a little bit more than domain blocking, which, as my understanding, is what a Pi-hole essentially does.
Pi-hole does more than you think it does.
That's a good. I've not looked too much into Pi-hole, and I will take your word for that.
I just know it hits it on the
how it was
network
initially
level.
described to me. Sorry, I know I'm breaking up there.
No, you're good.
Okay. But yeah, it was initially described to me as just a domain block thing. I've never actually tinkered with it.
Brave, from a interface perspective, was that the one that had like little groups all around? I mean, it was funky the way. Was that Brave or was that another browser? That wasn't the traditional.
Can you?
Yeah. So Brave as a browser, does that look more like the traditional browsers,
Yeah.
or was that the one that, like, on the home screen had the front page had like these little groups, like had a Facebook icon over here, and then blah. You know, it was more like
it looked more like a traditional browser.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different one. There was another one that I baited 2 or
This-
3 years ago that was just
No,
weird.
Brave is a browser that essentially built an ad blocker. It's made in part by Brendan Eich, great creator of JavaScript.
This is a really old version of it.
And they are trying to promote a business model. It's kind of a weird thing. So one way they are getting funding to develop the browser is promoting a business model with anonymous ads where they use client-based heuristics to replace ads and trackers that constantly surveil everything you do with ads that people essentially pay Brave for. The whole system is where you can either turn off all ads or show Brave ads where they are claiming they're going to have a system in place where you, the browser user, will be paid for the ads you see.
Yeah.
Or separately, you can have an option of anonymously donating cryptocurrency to websites that you view with the browser.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but as far as their monetization goes, but the browser itself is pretty solid, and it's the only web browser I know of that has a very good ad blocking functionality on mobile.
Both iOS and Android.
Yes, though I will say the Android one is a bit more refined.
Okay. Like, block tracking cookies, do all that fun stuff. Like out of the box.
Yes, though there is one feature, their anti-fingerprinting feature, which is not on by default. And there's also a separate feature to block all scripts, which is not on by default because that would cripple,
internet.
Web browsing in general.
Yeah.
But as far as but yeah, it's nice.
Cool.
That does also remind me separately. And I honestly forget if we talked about this last week. And Android has a that was released in added in the most recent version of Android, where you can configure a private DNS server or use Google's DNS servers as a private DNS server. That being, it will send your DNS traffic over HTTPS.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so obviously the people who run the DNS server will see it, but the goal, the idea is that the ISPs will not.
Definitely get the ISPs out.
And it's my understanding, though I've not actually run it through Wireshark to double check, that it also has encrypted SNI as well.
Cloudflare
SNI being
also.
when you go to a website, typically, even if it's HTTPS site, it will say the name of the website you're going to in clear text while negotiating the whole HTTPS session. Encrypted SNI means it would not.
Nice.
So this feature, as far as being built in, ready to use, is on Android. It's not on iOS yet, or I don't know if there's any plans to add it into iOS. Hope they do add it in. Oh, and the one last thing is, and kind of a bit of an odd thing, when you specify the DNS, if you opt to use a DNS server other than Google's, which is what you get when you click the automatic setting, if you do a manual one, you have to actually specify the domain name, as in 1.1.1.1 .cloudflare-dns.com or something along those lines.
Oh, I found that one that I was thinking of. It may be dead, but it was Opera Neon.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only problem I have with any Chromium-based browsers is that with Chrome OS, they've already worked on breaking ad blocking. Who's to say that it won't eventually migrate itself over to Chromium?
Talking about Brave again. Yeah, Brave is Chromium based, but they essentially they don't just copy and paste Chromium and just add a little bit of their stuff on top. They do try to take pains to maintain stability while taking out the extra tracking features that Google bakes into Chromium.
Interesting. I'm actually downloading Brave now.
This is great. Let me see if I can find this tweet.
Oh.
Someone put a keylogger onto a sysadmin's box. Give me a second here.
Yeah, because that has never, ever happened before.
Yeah, so here is that. It's just funny because we all know what he's trying to do here. Something ain't working. He's trying to escape Vim a lot.
Oh, wait, are you showing like video?
No, yeah, on screen share here. He's almost got it on the third or fourth time. He's missing one crucial character. Oh boy, this is the correct command, but it's missing a colon. That's it. That's funny.
Cappy, you should go play Vim golf with Charles.
Yeah, I should. But I'd probably get really depressed.
You two would be in Vim heaven.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is just this is just funny because we've all been there as Vim, if you've used Vim ever. Trying to get out of it.
Hey,
Cool.
did you guys know that Opera is Chinese owned now?
Well, while avoiding that browser like the plague.
Yeah. It was founded out of Norway, and that's where the headquarters still are. But the two controlling companies that own like 70+% of the shares are Chinese companies.
Geez, I wonder why they got to spend that money somehow.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's interesting. Well, Opera's been completely reverse engineered.
12 times over.
Yeah. Well,
Oh boy. Not gonna have to start writing our own browsers.
I don't know. I'm gonna play with Brave and see how I like it.
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, the other one that I've been using for a long time, but it's starting to get freezing issues because I just don't think they're keeping it up as much, is Firefox Focus. It doesn't do the ad blocking, but from every other privacy thing though, it will block tracking cookies and do all the fun stuff. But it's not as stable as it used to be. So, Liz, you said that Brave though works well on Android and taking care of all those surfing needs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it does work on iOS though. I'll go and say it when I've had an iPhone use it, it did occasionally crash and have to restart the browser. That's only a problem I've had in iOS. And that was I last used that 5-6 months ago. So maybe they've fixed that issue in iOS. But I've never had that issue on Android.
Hopes and dreams, hopes and dreams.
Yeah, and it was only when I was using Twitter on iOS. So maybe it's a Twitter thing.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to play around with that some of the next couple days. And oh yeah, if anybody's watching who's in the Central Ohio area, and you will be going to the InfoSec Central Ohio InfoSec Summit tomorrow and Friday, I will be at booth 10. So stop over, say hi.
So if I walk over and say "got your nose," you know it's me.
Are you you're not coming over, are you?
No,
Okay then.
no, because I'm sure you jump over the table try to fight me if I did that.
Only if you actually got it. Well, yeah, I'd want my nose back.
I did see the picture of the statue you put up on Facebook. That was funny. Got your nose. I'm like, oh god. You know who's the champion of grabbing noses?
Unfortunately, no.
Napoleon. He's still got the Sphinx's nose.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, we are, what time is it? 8:57.
Yeah.
We have 3 more minutes.
How did
That's where you should have been going. Beep.
Yeah, we'll just end with a beep. Nah, Darren would probably like punch me from Texas.
That's the hope.
Guys, I'm already. No, I'm kidding. Things to look forward to in a couple of weeks here. I will be at SecKC and hopefully doing a talk, but we'll see. Well,
Yeah,
who knows?
after Darren punches him in the face.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get punched in the face now for no reason. Cool. Come and punch me in the face at SecKC.
It's not exactly a far drive for me.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll be at SecKC. Please don't hurt me. Yeah, come say hi.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
have fun.
tall and hairy, but fragile.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. It should be fun. Sounded like a lot of talks got submitted pretty in this week, so there's a lot of people getting ready for talks. So good place to hang out if you're in the SecKC area. You're in the KC area too. We basically take over an entire bar for the night, so we get the bar all to ourselves. So there's beer. So if anything, you get beer out of it.
Very cool. Hey,
And
beer.
pizza if you are coming, go to the Eventbrite page and there's a link on setkc.org. Get a ticket because they use that to order enough pizza for everyone. So they also have free pizza.
Is the event free?
Yep.
So sign up like 15 times just so there's more pizza.
No, don't do that. Stop it. I'm trying to. No.
Everyone, sign up like 15 times.
No. Okay. We're just gonna surplus of pizza. Okay, everyone gets like their own pizza then. Okay. Cool.
Or 4
4
to share.
Now I want pizza. Speaking of pizza, I had
Then,
New York.
and then you'll also have breakfast the next morning. So
Yeah, right.
it's a win-win.
Speaking of pizza, I made my first trip out to New York a couple weeks ago, and I can honestly say, New York style pizza is the bomb. From New York, that is some good stuff. Oh, love it. And I've had some weird pizza. Anyone ever had a shawarma pizza? I know Jack probably
Can't
has.
say that I have. Most of the
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, because I got it in
Are
the
you-
same place that we've also lived. We've also lived in the same area where that's
Are
pretty
you
common.
profiling me?
Because
No.
Jack, you seem like one of them.
No, because we both were in the same country. We've all lived in the Netherlands, so and it's very
Well,
popular there.
I lived in Germany, and yeah, I only I would only come through every once in a while.
Second home. But you know what I mean. I mean, Germany had kebab, didn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, Jack knows what I mean.
Yeah, that stuff is actually very good.
Yes, I could really go for a doner kebab right about now.
Oh man, dude,
Oh.
capsule on right now. That would be so good. I miss that so much. Which everyone that doesn't know what that is just heard me say like hair salon in Dutch. They're like, ugh, you eat that? What is that? No, it's a Dutch or it's a Turkish Dutch dish. Super good.
Turkish delight.
Pretty much, but it's like fries, doner, garlic sauce, cheese, bake that, and then a salad on top of it.
Doner?
And by cheese, he means goat cheese.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's very
so
good.
so I thought maybe we clarify that.
Goat cheese isn't bad.
Well, some people when they hear cheese, they think
Smile.
little slice of cheese on there.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And then if the one place that I went to, they would throw some Turkish spices into it, which were really, really spicy. Or well, not really spicy. And they only did it for people they liked, and I eventually was one of the people they liked. So woohoo! Got some spicy stuff in there. But enough about food.
Yeah,
Anyone
I mean,
else?
for Cappy, I mean, $10 is $10. We get it.
I thought it was 20. It's gone down?
Oh, yeah. You're still 14, 15 years old, so.
Oh. Hey, guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
That's right.
Oh, that brings me up the reason I called the name for this cast tonight, SOPHistry. Have you seen the SOPH Soft's YouTube feed?
No.
She's some 14-year-old YouTuber who talks politics and cusses like a storm. It's kind of maybe I should feel bad about the delinquency of a 14-year-old, but she's hilarious.
Does she make good points though?
That depends on who you ask, but she got a hit piece from BuzzFeed, so she
Yeah.
points.
Yeah,
Well,
she got
I mean,
hit pretty
come
hard
on.
this last week.
Well, I mean, come on, really? A hit piece from BuzzFeed? Like, when does that happen?
On a 14-year-old. That's a new one.
No, I mean that's BuzzFeed. They hate everything that that everybody's. They hate everything that they're for.
You could literally make something
know
up
what you're
that fits
talking
their
about.
agenda, and they would promote it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, they're excellent. I
can't hold a straight face when you say that one. Oh yeah, BuzzFeed is very credible journalism.
They're at least 10 times better than CNN.
Well, I mean, that's not exactly a high bar to cross there.
Oh, I saw this guy that did like different paintings. He was like, "What's the one guy on PBS that used to do the paintings?"
Bob
You know?
Ross.
Bob Ross.
Yes.
Yeah, he did the Bob Ross
Oh,
parodies,
you
but they were
children.
like political. They're hilarious. I'll have to link them to you guys sometime, and maybe I don't know if I can find them. They're pretty good. Let me look up. I'll look up what his name is. One sec.
All right. Well, Adrian, I got nothing. Anyone else got anything else to add to the cast?
No.
I don't. I have to be up at 6:30, so
All right.
for me, that's early.
Right, Niall, and
No, I'm good.
I want to hang out. And everybody, thank you very much for joining. I need to find the correct tab in all my freaking tabs I have open so I can actually stop this. I had to be browsing, doing all that stuff in the background. I'm trying to set up an LLC and do some stuff with CityCon and other places. So I got a little bit lost. Anyway, Catch y'all later.
Later, everyone.